How strong is the best bug? We tested this by discovering how much the best bug could pull over a certain amount of time and distance.
Hey guys, I'm here to get out. If you can get out your green homework check-in sheet, I'm going to stamp it for today. All right.
We looked at a diagram of how scientists conducted their tests and modeled our test after it. We watched the best bug. We didn't really know a lot about the best bug, so we didn't have a lot of prior knowledge. We asked lots of questions. We wrote down our questions about the best bugs. We researched the best bugs. We wrote down our procedure, and then we conducted the tests. We filled out data charts. We tried to conclude our research. If we thought something was strange, we would do another test. And then we finally concluded our test.
Best bugs live in colonies in dirt tunnels called galleries. They usually travel in pairs of 2. Fungi grows on their feces and they eat it for nutrients. They rub wings against their chest to make noises. In addition to eating fungi, they eat decomposing wood, which explains their habitat. They live in a habitat full of dirt and decomposing wood. Their scientific name is Passilidae.
There was a procedure we followed to do our tests. The first step was to obtain the necessary materials. The second step was to weigh the best bug. The third step was to tie a slipknot of floss around the best bug's body. The fourth step was to weigh a petri dish. The fifth step was to tie the petri dish to the end of the floss. The sixth step was to put a 5-gram washer in the petri dish. The seventh step was to time the best bug for 60 seconds and see how far it could go. Then we would give it a 30-second rest. Then we would add another washer to the petri dish. And we would repeat the test. When the best bug could not pull the petri dish at least 10 centimeters over this time, the test was over.
We can't do it.
We'd fill in the data table for our first test, and we'd get a new best bug. We'd empty the petri dish, and then we would repeat.
This was our data chart that we turned into a graph. The green on the first test shows the time. The time was the same for each 3 tests. The distance was at its peak in the second test when it reached 30. The weight also reached its peak in the second test, along with the weight and even the percentage of its body weight. The lowest distance was at the first test, along with the weight pulled and the weight of the bug. Interesting.
We have concluded that the best bug is pretty strong. On average, it can pull 136% of its own weight at a speed of just under half a centimeter per second for 60 seconds. The average human can only pull about their own weight. So technically speaking, best bugs are stronger for their size than humans are. We learned a lot about best bugs, and we found this lab very interesting.
We struggled at a few points. Here are some of the things we struggled with. We struggled with attaching the string slipknot to the bug. We also struggled with measuring the distance of the best bug because it kept moving in a diagonal or not straight line, which was hard to measure with a straight ruler. Lastly, the string was not taut, so sometimes the best bug was pulling no weight instead of pulling some weight. So we had to constantly pause the stopwatch and wait for the best bug to actually pull weight to make our recordings precise.
We found the lab very interesting, but there's still more to know. These are some of the questions that we had. What is the best bug's reproduction cycle? How do you distinguish males from females? Who are they prey to, and are they predators to any insects? How many best bugs generally live in a colony? Do they have a structure where there is an alpha male, a queen, or some other dominant best bug? What is the climate that the best bugs generally live in? What is the average lifespan for best bugs? We're going to take what we learned from the best bug lab and try to apply it to all the other labs this year.